Speaking of Phoenix, we got an upcoming road match in the desert, and that's always an interesting battle between two powerhouses of the Western Conference. I don't know if that's an appropriate term these days. I know it used to be they were typically both up there, but I feel like there's been some struggles year in and year out from these teams. We've got Ryan Sykora here to help us out to talk about Phoenix Rising and help give us the lowdown and the insight so we can pass it on to the players. Hopefully Tom is still in the green room just listening along. Ryan, welcome to our show.
How's it going, guys?
It's going good. I mean, obviously 3 points this past weekend would have been, I could say it's going great, but at least we got a point. A result is better than no result there. Ryan, how are things going in the desert for Phoenix heading into this weekend's match against Orange County?
I was going to say, I think the Phoenix folks right now would take the point from week one after what happened in San Antonio. It was not the perfect start for the Phoenix Rising season. You can see the goal within 5 minutes of the quality of the one that San Antonio were able to put up. And, for 45 minutes, Phoenix Rising didn't look like they belonged on the pitch at all. And, you get the penalty, you fight a little bit in the second half. But it's early in the season, right? You're looking at performances rather than results at this stage of the year. And I think that's the fun part about this stage of the year is you can play as you did in the first week of the season, and then you show up the second week, and it's a brand new start as you try and kind of set your standards for the year.
And let's be honest, right? I think San Antonio is always a tough road match for any team in the USL. I don't think it's an easy match for anyone. I don't know if it's something in the water in San Antonio or just the location. Who knows? What did you see any positives from your Phoenix Rising in the match this past weekend that they can take over to OC?
I was going to say, I think when you watch this team, and maybe it wasn't as prevalent in the first match, but having gotten to see Phoenix Rising over the course of the preseason, like Jean-Eric Morsu in the midfield, I think he's wearing number 13 this year. He was number 40 or something last year, but the number 13 in midfield for Phoenix, Jean-Eric Morsu, when he arrived, was after both the matches against OC last year, so didn't get a chance to play against them. If Rising can correctly platform him as a player, and he can be this player that's properly used as a connector, as like a, almost like a Kyle Scott. I don't think he's good on the ball as good on the ball as Kyle Scott ever was, but I think he's a better defender than Kyle Scott was. If you can give him the opportunities to tempo Phoenix's attack and have them build through him, he's an all-league level player for Phoenix Rising. That's the biggest positive from this team from the opening couple of weeks of preseason and then through the first week of the season. I really like the complexion of the back line. It was not really on display last week, and Chituru Odunze was not at his best, I think, from what we would expect from the level of player there. But as is always the case with the modern Phoenix Rising, tons of wingers, tons of guys who want to take you on, and now they have, with Hope Avievu and Morsu, and maybe even JP Skiers as well, who got the goal from the spot last week, a solid enough base to kind of work off of.
As much as I'd like, I could ask you, I could take the full 15, 20 minutes with you, but I want to share the time with my fellow co-hosts. I'm going to hand it off to Brad here. Brad, go for it.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Ryan, I don't think Ray gave you the opportunity to tell you about, or for you to tell the group, what you do for Phoenix, because I think you are one of the first of your kind that we've had on the show.
Yeah. So the last couple of seasons, since the 22 season, so the year before Phoenix Rising wandered into the title, I suppose. We started a Phoenix Rising English radio broadcast as students at Arizona State University. And for the last 4 seasons, this will now be year 5 of the Phoenix Rising Radio Network, which is entirely student-produced, student-run, student-broadcasted. So no longer a part of that portion of it, but it gave me the opportunity to connect with Phoenix Rising as a club, the club that I grew up playing against locally here in Phoenix growing up. And it's given me a wonderful grassroots almost platform, almost in kind of like how Orange County has Tyson Espy and Jameer Johnson and all these, young attacking, academy kids. It gave me the chance to get my feet wet in the professional world and grow from there. So that's my connection with Phoenix Rising. And as the radio broadcaster the last couple of years, and this year is more of an outward media party for covering for this league and, Backheeled.com and trying to promote that on the national scale. It's a whole lot of fun to get to watch games in this league every single week, to watch Orange County this past week, Phoenix this past week, Jacksonville. Like, it's a lovely, lovely league to kind of be universally involved in, I feel like.
Thank you, Ryan. So focusing a little bit back on the pitch, one of the players that we have in the past seasons seen and very familiar with from Orange County is Patrick Rakowski. However, Chituro Odunze, 6'7" goalie, younger player, started the first game of the season. What's that camp battle been like between the two players over there?
So I'm sure most of the people in the chat will remember Rocco Rios Novo, who was, the starter for a couple of years for Phoenix's title run, and then the year after that in 2024. He and Patrick Rakowski very much alike in the sense that goalkeepers that are, pretty solid shot stoppers at best, but very good with the ball at their feet. Like, they want to have the ball. They're better when the game is in front of them and at their feet. And Rakowski himself this offseason has said it's kind of a different battle. Odunze is not that good with the ball at his feet. He's much more of a shot stopper, which Phoenix could have used and frankly needed at times last year. And I think that's why he's gotten the start early on. Is you look at a Rising team that gave up a lot of shots last year, that gave up a lot more goals than they wanted to last year. They really needed that shot stopper in goal, and that's why Odunze has gotten the start. That being said, if you go back and watch the 90 minutes against San Antonio, Patrick Rakowski's best case for being the starter against Orange County is what Chituro Odunze did in the loss to San Antonio. It wasn't that spectacular. There wasn't a lot there. So that's kind of the interesting thing is Rakowski's the veteran, Odunze's the youngster. Rakowski's better with his feet. Odunze's better at saving, shots. Both bring something different to the table that I think, depending on what you prefer as a fan, as a supporter, as a coach, it's going to really heavily sway who you think. I would personally take Odunze, but he's only got 3 or 4 games of a sample to really know, to really earn that job before Rakowski has a claim to take it back.
All right, thank you so much. And my last question for me is Anthony Capitillo started the game, 16-year-old, very similar to what Orange County has been doing with Jameer Johnson and some of our younger players, Tyson Epsy. What academy structure is Phoenix looking at in terms of building up talent? Is there a pipeline that's starting to form, or?
It's certainly getting there. If you looked at Phoenix 5 years ago and had told me that Phoenix Rising would be the second youngest team in the league in 2025, which they were, the only team that had an average, roster when adjusted for minutes younger than Phoenix Rising was Orange County, which makes sense. I don't want to say shtick, but it's a big part of the identity, the brand of the club and the community, right? So Phoenix over the last couple of years has had an academy that's kind of been structured up, for 10 years now. They've had the same kind of 2 guys at the helm of it. They've started to add grassroots clubs over the course of the last decade into its umbrella. And that's led to, I guess, a more streamlined academy process of finding, training, educating young players. And last year you started to see some of it when you had players like Cyrus Coal coming off the bench. He got the start, I think, against Orange County in the Rising home game last year. Jamison Ping was 16 years old, signed a pro contract, the youngest player to sign for Phoenix from the academy. And then this year, Jathan Irwin, who came off the bench, is 15 years old. He's the first player, I think, born in 2011 to feature in a professional soccer game this year. I don't know if we're counting Next Pro or not. It's kind of stupid. Jathan's a really good player. He's going to play for the U.S. Men's national team, youth national team. Anthony gets the start. Tony's trained fantastically over the course of the season. So yeah, there's a pathway now, I think, in Phoenix to get the young players, 16, 17 years old, into the first team.
Well, thanks for making me feel old, naming a player who is literally half my age
Oh
now.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
So while I wallow in my despairs, I'll go ahead and hand it off to trialist number 1 to ask a couple questions.
Trialist, really quick. Can I just make a quick comment? Like, you just blew my mind there, Ryan, because my son literally plays. He's 2012, but he plays against 2011s from time to time. That is just ridiculous. Go ahead, Trialist.
Thank you. I guess my question is just going into the season, we're real early. What's something that you think is kind of a strength that Phoenix is going to have this year, and what's something that you think is kind of a weakness?
The wide players, when Phoenix Rising gets healthy, you'll have Darius Johnson and Isan Sako, who can be so dangerous in their own right in different ways, preferably on the bench, because you'll have Kelvin Araze, who's been this highly touted player within the camp, coming on and starting when he gets fit. Damian Rivera has scored a ton of goals in terms of his per 90 numbers over the last couple of years in the USL Championship. So, the wingers, the players out wide, Phoenix's game plan is almost always going to be predicated on getting it up the pitch, getting it into the wide players, letting them go 1v1, trying to get them to beat a guy defensively, and go from there. So Phoenix's bread and butter, I think, when they're going to play well early in the season, probably when they're going to play well 7 months from now too far away to think. 7 months from now, when we're in towards the postseason, it's going to be all about getting the ball to the wide players and seeing if those guys can be effective 1v1 attackers nonstop.
What's something you think is like a weakness for the team going into the year, or something you're the least confident in?
I do not love and I think Anthony Capatillo, at 16, 17 years old, starting match day 1 is not necessarily a sign of the struggles in the 9 position, more so the health right now. That being said, Gunnar Studenhoft is about 6'4". He runs about a 4.4 40. He's an NFL player, but he's not a striker at the polished product yet. He's someone that I don't think I would trust to get you 10 goals if you played him game in, game out every single night. And then they brought in a young striker from Colombia, Juan Carvajal, who seems to be someone with potential, good physical, technical upside, but has not, impressed, I would say, in preseason. So kind of opposite of the wingers in the attack for Phoenix being so good is there's still a lot of question marks on who's going to score goals at the number 9 for Phoenix. I tell you what, if Phoenix could do anything in this league, if their supporters would be happy about anything, they would beg Ethan Zubak to come to Phoenix Rising. It would be like they would use that. They could use that kind of a player at that number 9 position, just like a lot of teams would like an Ethan Zubak in their setup as the number 9.
That is the most controversial take among our supporters. I think some people are very for him, some people are very against him. He does something really well. He does other things not so well. So if you want him to hold the ball up, good luck.
All in on Liam.
Score some goals. Yeah, Liam's looking really exciting. I will say a quick comment just before I pass it off to Larry. If you guys want to match our youth, I'll be very happy about that. If more teams could just all agree to do that in the USL, that would be fantastic. Just because it makes me very nervous that our team is so young, just speaking from a consistency standpoint and competitive standpoint. So if y'all can just all do that, that'd be very helpful and make me a lot more comfortable in our chances moving forward. As exciting as it is to have the youth products come through, and I do love to see that. It from a competition standpoint, you're usually not how you win titles. So sure. We'll see if we can get something going, but I'll pass it off to Larry.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say to Brad, you mentioning that this kid is half your age. I think that's adorable. By 2011, I was on wife number 3. Shut the hell up. Hey. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I love that wife number whatever is hearing this and commenting in the background.
Yeah, she's over there. Sorry. Ryan, you've mentioned some weaknesses. Oh, by the way, you can't have Liam McKinnon or Ethan Zubak, not at least until maybe next year. So I'm just saying, tell your fans now. So let's say it's Saturday night. We are 15 minutes into the game. What are you seeing from Phoenix that is going to make you say, well, the rest of this night is not going to go well?
So to me, the biggest thing that Orange County is going to present as a problem to Phoenix Rising is what we saw in the goal from Orange County over the weekend. The patented Danny Stone break the lines quickly, try and skip two lines of defense, move it through the middle after slowly recycling possession or winning the ball, in the middle third of the pitch. That's something that I think Phoenix under Pamaduka has really struggled with going back to the beginning of last season. That's why Orange County was so good against them in the game at the Champ over the summer last year. Phoenix's, counter press, their response to losing the ball has not ever been something that's been noteworthy under Pamaduka, or really even going back to, the post-COVID Rick Shantz teams as well, that always kind of seem to struggle when they lost the ball. So Orange County being effective at winning the ball in the middle third of the pitch, quickly getting it to a Stephen Kelly or a Nico Benalcazar, who I loved in midfield. By the way, that was a joy to get to actually see him play his preferred position, Marcelo Palomino, and allowing those guys to pick up the ball, quickly turn. You've got McKinnon, you've got Jameer Johnson. Maybe it's Mateo Bunbury in this game, making runs in behind to kind of cause problems for a Phoenix defense that I think lacks athletes right now. Luke Biasi's at left back. He's a left-sided center back in a back three by trade. Rafa Shihas is 36 years old. He's one of the oldest players in the league. Adrian Pelayo is not really known for his pace. So Orange County is going to have, I think, a lot of ability to punish Phoenix Rising on the break and on the counterattack. And that's what I would like to see from Orange County this weekend from their perspective of trying to play with some quick tempo, some up the ante pace to try and beat Phoenix in that way.
Excellent. Coach Stone, I hope you're listening and taking some notes.
He's not listening. Danny's never listened to me once.
He's not listening. Ryan, we are at the point of the show where we like to make our predictions for Saturday night. So we are going to let you go first because you are our guest here, and we are polite like that. Prediction for Saturday night's game. What do you got?
How often does the opposition guest take Orange County to steal 3 points on the road? What are the numbers on that? They can't be very high.
Not high. You are correct.
Not high, but it has happened, but not high.
I think Orange County wins 2-0. I think they get a goal somewhere in the first half hour. Phoenix prods for 25, 30 minutes, end of the first half, start of the second half, and OC gets a goal off the break sometime in the second half and holds defensively. I was impressed with Tyson Espy. I think that was when I was in the green room trying to listen in on Tom. I love Tom Brewitt's words about what he said to Tyson of like, hey, I'm here, got your back, play your game. I thought he did play his game. I think as long as he gives you a solid 6 out of 10, he's going to be the center back. And that's a wonderful thing because it allows you to play Benalcazar in his preferred role. And so from that perspective, I think Orange County is just a little ahead of Phoenix right now in the project and in the preseasons and the beginning of season structures. I think they get all 3 points on the road in Phoenix.
I love that. And we're all going to hope that you are absolutely right. Bradley, you're next. What is your prediction?
I'm going to say it's going to be a similar game to last week for Phoenix. 2-1 in this case, visiting Orange County.
Outstanding. And trialist number 1. Talk to me.
Oh, I'm trying really hard not to go the opposite of him just to, be that guy. I think that the things we lacked last week were getting a little torched on the wings, and hearing you speak so highly about the wingers for Phoenix scares me a little bit because we definitely could have conceded 2 or 3 goals in the first 30 minutes after a couple drives down that right side. So, or our left side. I'm going to go, I can't predict this. Let's go 4-3 OC. Let's go nuts. Like I don't, you guys might score a few. I think we might score a few. Let's just, let's go for some fun.
I love that.
I am going to vehemently disagree with both trialist number 1 and Matt. By the way, with trialist number 1, it says 4-3. Does Matt have a prediction that might be, sane?
5-4.
It's better. Excellent. I am actually going to agree with Ryan, and I am going to say 2-0 Orange County. I think McKinnon scores another one, and I think we're going to get a surprise second goal from somebody. And I'm not going to say it now. I'm going to wait till I do my little Saturday pregame video, and I will make that prediction there. So, Ray, I'm going to turn it back to you. What's that, Rando?
Alex Rando.
So everyone that is not doing it, you need to follow our Instagram, because that's where Larry will leave that second prediction of who's going to have a surprise goal for us. Here's what I'm going to say. In this match against Phoenix is going to concede 3 goals in the first 15 minutes. They're going to be slipping all over the place. They're going to sub out their goalkeeper after that third goal, and they're still not going to be able to do anything and come back. They're going to lose 5-2 to Orange County.
5-2.
Someone's tilted.
Ryan.
I love that Brad understood that. If you didn't get it, Ryan,
not even Phoenix is as bad as Tottenham, Ray.
I know. I'm referencing Spurs' performance tonight or today.
I was listening. I was listening. I was hearing Tom give you some grief. I heard it.
Ryan, for all of our listeners, if they want to hear more from you, read more from you, see more from you, give them the lowdown. Where do they go? What do they look for on social medias, websites, wherever? Tell them everything.
Subscribe to Backheeled.com. It's $5. It is a subscription-based platform, but you get 30,000 words almost a week, it feels like, on the USL Championship. Probably 30,000 divided by 5, a little more than 1,000 divided by 25, a little more than 1,000 words a week on Orange County SC and all things there. I'm certain you'll get a couple of features on the Academy kids at points this season. We had Danny Stone on our Backheeled's flagship USL Championship show last year, this league, to chat with us. So at Backheeled and Backheeled.com for Twitter and Blue Sky and social medias and all these things. Read John Morrissey. Come hang out on every live show. We go live. Trying to do the math in my head because Phoenix just changed times, but we don't do the daylight savings. We go back to Pacific. So we are 4:00 Pacific live every Monday to chat USL Championship. Myself, John Morrissey, Peyton Gallagher. It is, for my money, the best national USL Championship coverage you're going to get. All due respect to Devin Kerr and the boys at the league office. So listen to me there. And then my @ is underneath my name here at Ryan Sykora play-by-play. I do stuff with Arizona State and all sorts of things here in the Valley. But if you want to hear about Orange County this over the weekend, tune in Monday. I'm sure we will talk Phoenix and OC Monday at 4:00.
AS who?
Here's where we're going to have some fun here is we're going to have to figure out who is the better guest host, because we didn't do our awards last year, but we definitely would do it this year. And you are an early candidate as a guest of the year now because you've been on the show. John Morrissey is a good friend of the show. He's won the award in the past. Let's see who can win, Ryan or John. Who do you think will win, Ryan?
I mean, I hope John's not on the show, because if John's on the show, I'm screwed. But right now, I like my chances. We've had 2 shows. I'm one of the 2 guys. I like my odds right now. I got a 50-50 chance. That's good.
Well, and the guest is non-player guest award. So right now, you're the only one so far. So you are in the driver's seat for this. We'll see what happens as we go down the air. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ryan Sykora, Backheeled, follow him, listen to him, read him, subscribe so you can get all that information. Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us. And we'll definitely look forward to seeing you on the show again in the future.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you very much, Ryan.